Maya lived on the 42nd floor of a glass and steel high-rise downtown. At that day 8, the world feels like a silent movie playing out far below. It's the kind of place where you feel untouchable, isolated by elevation. But the one thing about living in a glass box is that eventually someone has to clean it. That's how she met Des. He was a window washer, a man who appeared once a month outside her floor-to-ceiling windows, suspended by steel cables in a yellow plastic bucket. The first time it happened, Maya nearly jumped out of her skin, but Elias just gave a polite, professional nod and kept working. Over time, the awkwardness faded into a strange kind of friendship. Since the glass was thick and the wind was loud, they didn't talk. Instead, they used post-it notes. Maya would stick a note on the glass that said, "Rough Monday," and Elias would grin, wipe a circle of suds away, and press a notebook against the pane that read, "Could be worse. At least I have a view." It was a harmless, charming routine. He was a constant in her life, a recurring character in the background of her lonely apartment. She felt like he was a guardian of sorts, someone watching over her little corner of the sky. On a Tuesday in October, the wind was picking up, whistling through the vents of the building. Maya was sitting at her kitchen island, scrolling through her laptop, when she heard the familiar metallic clack-clack of the window rig descending. She smiled, grabbed her pad of neon pink sticky notes, and walked toward the window to greet him. But Elias wasn't smiling today. Look pale. His movements were jagged, frantic. He didn't even start soaping the glass. Maya slowed down, her brow furrowing. She held up a note with a question mark, but Elias didn't look at it. He was looking past her. He grabbed his thick black marker and began writing. In his notebook, with a shaking hand, he pressed the page against the glass. "Don't turn around. Maya froze." The air in the apartment suddenly felt 10 degrees colder. She felt a primal instinct to spin around, to see what he was seeing. He just stared at Maya, his eyes wide and bloodshot. But Elias hammered his fist against the glass door. Muffled thud and pointed aggressively at the notebook. He flipped the page. "There is someone under your bed." The breath left Maya's lungs. Her bedroom door was standing wide open, just 10 feet behind her. She could see the foot of her bed from where she stood. Elias wrote again, his eyes darting between her and the space behind her. "They have a knife. Do not scream. Walk to the front door now." Maya's legs felt like lead. She didn't look back. She kept her eyes locked on Elias, whose face was a mask of pure terror. He was her only witness, her only lifeline. She began to back away slowly, her heart hammering against her ribs so hard it hurt. Every inch she moved felt like a mile. She expected a hand to grab her ankle, a blade to find her back. She reached the heavy oak front door, fumbled with the deadbolt, and finally burst into the hallway. She didn't stop. She ran for the elevators, screaming for help, and collapsed into the arms of a neighbor who was just coming home. The police arrived within minutes. They cleared the apartment with guns drawn. Maya sat in the hallway, wrapped in a shock blanket, her body shaking uncontrollably. She told the officers about Elias, about the notes, about the man under the bed. One of the officers came back out a few minutes later. He looked confused. "Ma'am," the officer said, "the bedroom is empty. There's no sign of a struggle. No one under the bed, and the service entrance is locked from the inside." Maya pushed past him, desperate to show them. She ran to the window. Elias's rig was gone. He had descended to the ground level, but the pink post-it notes were still stuck to the glass. He saw Maya Krieth. The window washer saw him right there. The officer sighed and pulled a small black device from his pocket. "We didn't find a person, Maya, but we found this taped to the exterior of your window frame, tucked right under the ledge where it's hard to see from inside. It was a high-end GoPro camera. It wasn't pointed at the skyline. It was pointed directly into her bedroom. We also checked the rooftop. the officer continued, his voice dropping an octave. The man you know as Elias. He doesn't work for the maintenance company. The real window washer was found tied up in the utility closet on the roof. He's been there since this morning. Maya's blood turned to ice. She looked down at the camera in the officer's hand. If he wasn't a window washer, why did he warn me? She whispered. He wasn't warning you, the officer said, flipping the camera around to show her the screen. The footage showed Maya standing at the window, but in the corner of the frame, Elias's notebook was visible. He hadn't been writing to her. He had been holding a phone in his other hand, hidden by the bucket. The police checked the camera's wireless feed. It was connected to a private, encrypted live stream. There were over 4,000 people watching. The title of the stream was The Reaction Game. Elias wasn't trying to save her. He was a director. The person under the bed wasn't a burglar, it was his partner. There was no knife. There was only the psychological torture of a woman who thought she was about to die. Captured in 4K for a paying audience who wanted to see exactly how much terror a human face could hold. The most disturbing part wasn't the camera, though. It was the last page of the notebook the police found in the bushes downstairs. It didn't say, "Don't turn around." It said, "Season 2 starts tomorrow. See you at your new place, Maya."